Good morning everyone, my name is Ian and today we're going to be discussing the 10 things that get you accused in Salem and tips from me to avoid these accusations. So, number 1, what you want to avoid as a woman in Salem is avoid having dolls in your house. Yes, voodoo dolls. Why? Well, simply because everyone's going to think that you're a witch trying to curse someone. So, my recommendation to you, get rid of all the dolls in your house. Number 2. Look at this woman over here. She's wearing something that would be seen as perfect in Salem's time. Why? Well, because she's covered up. And as a woman in Salem, you want to avoid being too provocative and wearing clothing that shows too much skin. Heading off to number 3, we're going to talk about reading. Well, in Salem, you could get accused for reading books. Reading books in Salem could symbolize that you are trying to cast a spell on someone or that you are trying to curse someone. Even worse is if you read in public.
Gort Klaatu Barada Nikto.
My tip for you is just get rid of books. I mean, there's one book you can read though, the Bible.
Hi, we're in a hurry. We're actually looking for a book that could save lives.
Yes, I've got it right here.
Oh, thank God.
Thank him indeed. The Bible.
And I also want to give you one last tip about reading. I recommend memorizing the 10 Commandments. Yes, it's so hard learning 10 lines of the Bible, but it could save your life. Talking about spells, let's move on to number 4. In Salem, if you were arguing with someone and unfortunately or maybe fortunately, something bad happens to them, you could get blamed. Back in the days, since Salem was such a small community, any rumors, any arguments would quickly spread throughout the whole town. This means that you could be accused for trying to cast a spell amongst someone just because you hate them or you had an argument with them. My tip for you is just to simply avoid getting into arguments with anyone. Learn how to say sorry and make friends with everyone, no matter how hard it is. Now, halfway there, we're going to discuss the 5th reason on why you could get accused of being a witch in Salem. In Salem, having an extra nipple, moles, freckles, or pimples could cost you lives. Having pimples back then meant that you were really unhygienic and means that you were doing witchcraft. It's crazy to think that something that you were born with, such as a body marking or a mole, could cost you your life. Now, my best advice to you is try and cover these up as much as you can and wash your face every night. No pimples. Furthermore, I also want to advise you, women of Salem, to avoid being too aggressive when defending yourself from an accusation. Because if you are too aggressive, people will think whatever they're accusing you of is true. So just stay calm and humble. Number 7. You could get accused of being a witch in Salem because you didn't have any children or you don't have enough. Back then, people would think that you were a witch because you were envious of people who have more children than you. Having children symbolizes family, joy, and happiness. If you didn't have children, people would think that you were very bitter, not family oriented, or just not a very good Christian. The solution here is very simple. Have more children. Have more children. Have more children. Reason number 8 on why you could get accused is because people are jealous and envious of you. An example of this was in Arthur Miller's book, which is The Crucible. Now in the book, it tells a story of a young girl called Abigail Williams and how she accuses another woman called Elizabeth Proctor simply because she wants her husband, which is John Proctor. John Proctor and Abigail Williams have been having an affair, but John Proctor wants it to stop. My message to you, women of Salem, hide your husband. Kidding aside, my tips to you, women of Salem, don't be too showy. Just remain humble. Avoid bragging or coming off as too strong to other people. And I'm pretty sure it also doesn't hurt to hide your possessions. You could have been accused in Salem simply because you hold low social status or you were poor. My cruel tip for you are, shift the blame to other women. That's what Crucible did, and it worked. It was so easy to accuse anyone that more than 100 people were accused. Now, last but not the least, the main reason why you could get accused is simply because you don't attend church. No matter how far you live, you have to attend church. Leave early if you need to. I would also recommend you to baptize your children. In this book, the proctors were questioned of their Christianity simply because they didn't baptize their children. And the main reason on why they didn't baptize their children was because John Proctor hated Reverend Paris. I don't care if you hate your pastor, your priest, or your reverend. You have to get them baptized.
Jesus Christ.
I'll do it!
And
It is also good to remember, and not just remember, but also put into application the 10 commandments, such as, remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. You shall not commit adultery. And women, do not commit adultery. It is a sin. It may apply more to men, but just avoid doing it. It is also a commandment to love thy neighbor. So, no matter how much you hate them, no matter how much you want to kill them, you're gonna have to love them, because that's in the Bible. And in Salem, unfortunately, if you ever get accused, you only have two choices. To confess or deny. Either way, you're gonna be trialed of being a witch. And the trials are very unfair. So if you need to, be friends with Abigail. If you're a 50-year-old woman, act like a youngster and be friends with Abigail. Abigail holds the most power. And the best thing you can do is to avoid getting into an argument with her. Or if you don't want too much fuss, just be a rebel. Run away. That is all, guys. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm hoping that my tips are useful in avoiding accusations for witchcraft.